Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. Just wanted to make a video about Glasgarten shrimp snacks snowflakes. If you're watching this, it's probably something you've heard about, you're interested in, you're for whatever reason just not finding the information you might want to find. Just to start, I don't have a whole lot of facts I can throw out there. I just wanted to show you guys how well the shrimp like it. These are what you're seeing right here. This is it was originally a Bloody Mary shrimp colony, Neocaridina davidi, red cherry shrimp colony. That's what it started out as. It's morphed into something less, and I'm now trying to kind of build the color back. So you're seeing a lot of hues of red and some that are even a lighter, almost not even really a red color, but trying to kind of build it back. And I haven't taken a lot of the culls out that I don't like. So, but it's a pretty massive colony at the moment. There's probably at least 100 cherry shrimp in there. So if not 150. So I just want to use them as and show you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the snowflakes in. Before I say that though, the snowflakes, I believe from my just seeing it, the reason they're called snowflakes, they're from my understanding, soybean hulls or husk hulls, I believe, which is like just kind of the shell of soybeans, which is to shrimp. It's basically just like a protein, like any other plant or vegetable material you might drop in there that's already started kind of decomposing. So they love it, they eat it up, but when you drop it, it's just like any other type of a pelleted food that you may put in there. But what it does, as soon as the water hits it, it just starts breaking down and expanding, and like they're compressed. So when the water hits it, it starts to pop out and decompress, and it really just kind of, it forms a mound. So it comes in a pellet form. I'll show you here. Let's see. So it comes in your typical pellet form. I've got two of them. I've actually got another one in my hand, but they come in a pelleted form. And when they hit the water, they just decompress and just kind of expand. I'm gonna drop two in, and really, I don't think for this size colony, they're gonna eat it. But I just wanted to give you guys a really good view of what happens and see how many shrimp I can really attract when I drop them in. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop them in, and then I'll talk about it a little. Hopefully I can get them right here in front of the camera. There's one. There we go. And they pretty much, these guys, they know when something's been dropped in. They're kind of like sharks, so they should really start swarming. I'm going to drop the other one here. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so I got both of them in frame there. And watch closely. You can see them. It's not the best view, but it's really going to start to kind of expand and break apart really quickly. And they'll just kind of spread out, and the more the shrimp really dogpile on them and get in there, it'll spread out a bit, which really helps. When you have just like a single pellet that you may drop in there, those shrimp tend to kind of dogpile and just kind of fight over it. But with this, it's kind of a sharing is caring experience. It really like spreads out, and they can kind of, more of them can get it, and the more time goes by, the more it just spreads a bit. And it doesn't get like too out of control. It's just, you make it like 2 or 3 inches wide little area of like, of the snowflake there, just kind of spread out. But generally for me, like when I feed one of these, it's generally gone, at least by the next day, that it's generally gone. But that depends on the size of your colony. If you just have like maybe 5 to 10, it may not disappear that quickly. But with a colony of this size, I mean, they just annihilate certain foods. The reason I wanted to make a video about snowflake, the Glasgarten snowflakes in particular, I haven't tried any of the other. I know a lot of people are trying to make their own versions of it, and they may work as well. I wouldn't, if anyone has any that they recommend, I wouldn't mind if you want to leave a comment or want me to buy some to try out and make a video of even. I wouldn't mind doing that if you want to leave a comment or anything like that. But while I'm on that, I'm pretty much nobody in the YouTube world, or just in the world in general. If any of you don't mind subscribing, or at the bare minimum just throwing a like or dislike, or just leaving a comment saying thanks for the video if you appreciate it, would go really far with me. It just helps my video gain traction, and I might be able to someday make a little money off these and just kind of help me do more in the hobby. Maybe branch out into different things. I'd like to get into crayfish and different types of fish and who knows what there. So if you could, it would really help me, you know, just to get a little more money into the hobby that I already have, which isn't a whole lot, but I would appreciate it. Now, off of that, the snowflakes, they do really go nuts for them. So that's kind of the whole reason I wanted to make this video. Right now I have about 9 different tanks with neocaridina in them. Of all the food, 9 different tanks, and I've got probably at least a dozen, if not 2 dozen different types of shrimp food that I cycle around and through, and just, you know, do a different one every day. And I might make some other videos on those later, but as far as these snowflakes go, they are by far the best food. The shrimp just go absolutely crazy for them. You can see them starting to dogpile. If you think that, I mean, I don't think many more have really come into the frame there since I dropped them in, but you should really start seeing a lot more here soon, just as time progresses. But they really go crazy for them. And other foods, you'll drop them in and you might get a few. You'll get that little kind of a dog pile, but once they really kind of engross and pile on there's nothing the other ones can really do. It's just kind of a constant fight for it, and some may stay around. And like I have some that, like a pellet, you drop it down and it only, like, you know, maybe 5, 6, 7 of them can actually reach it. And so it does last longer. But at that point, you know, a day or 2 or 3 or a week later, you know, they may still be getting to it and, you know, getting down to the last bits of it. But at that point, it starts to decompose in a bad way and maybe be developing a bad type of bacteria. Whereas to this, they're really just going through it. It doesn't give it time to develop anything that could be potentially harmful to them. So that's one of the reasons I personally like it, aside from the fact that they seem to just go crazy for it. So I just want to make a video about that. I don't plan on really making any negative videos. I guess if I do, it will be very obvious. I don't like this. This is bad, which isn't what this is. So this is definitely a video with nothing but positive reviews about the Glasgarten snowflakes for the neocaridina. In no way am I affiliated with them, sponsored by them. I would love it if they'd send me free products to try it out. With that said, I will say I've tried out a few of theirs. So I have, these are the snowflakes. They make some different types of snowflakes. They also have, I think they have like carrot snowflakes. They have like a spinach and chard snowflake, maybe a pumpkin. I could be wrong on that one. Then they have like a 3-in-1 mix, which is, you have these ones which are almost like a white color, and then they mix in some of the other ones like the spinach and chard, I think. The package I've seen, I don't think it specifically lists what exactly the 3 is, but one of them is definitely the soybean hulls. But the other ones, they don't go as nuts for, and the pellets themselves, they don't break up like this. So that's kind of my reasoning. They do like them, but I don't have the most, I can't give such a glowing review for them because they don't pop like these do. These really just kind of melt down into I mean, what you can see here. And they'll keep breaking down the more shrimp dogpile on there. But like I said, I don't have as much of a glowing review on some of their other stuff. The only other one I've tried, I've tried the 3-in-1 mix, which is okay, and the spinach and chard, which they really don't go very hard for they're a green color instead of this white color. They don't tend to go very as much for those. They still eat it over time, but the smaller your colony, the more careful you have to be, because if they don't like it, it could sit there for a while, and at that point it starts to kind of grow like biofilms and bacteria get on it, and you don't know what's happening, and they tend to kind of leave it alone, and it'll just kind of sit there and rot into something bad, and you have to try to get it out, and you end up with just a messy aquarium. One of the other ones I have tried is, I believe it's called, I could be saying it wrong. It's definitely in another language, I want to say. Maybe not, but it's called Malbeer, which stands for mulberry, I believe, which is, it's basically like compressed mulberry leaves, which shrimp are supposed to enjoy and like. And they do eat it just like the other ones, like the spinach and chard and some of the other stuff. So they do enjoy it, but again, the snowflakes, just the regular serving hall snowflakes, if you're looking for them, they're just called Glasgarten shrimp snacks snowflakes. Nothing extra with it. And it may help just try to look at the description, make sure they're soybean, but I don't think you really need to do that, just the basic one. So at the time of this video, when I've bought it, I found it places as low as, like, I want to say $8.99, but more of $9.99 in price. But a lot of other places like Amazon, they're running about $11.99, maybe even $12.99. So get it where you can. I always like to try to find the cheapest place. In some places, I may even, like, to sacrifice for free shipping, I may buy, like, you know, $30, $40, $50 worth of products just to get free shipping if I get a cheaper price on a lot of stuff and combine it together. But I don't do that very often. But I'm not a fan of paying those expensive prices if I can just save a bunch of money. So, but that's pretty much it. I don't have a whole lot else to say on these. I will say I was expecting the packaging to be bigger. It's really, the packaging is like, it can fit just over the size of your, like the palm of your hand. It's not a very big package. It says 30 grams, but I was definitely expecting something a lot bigger and bulkier, which it's not. But for as much as they love these things, the price is justified, I think. I'll definitely be ordering more. They really love it, but I also need to work through some of these other foods that they don't seem to like, but I may just sacrifice those to the snail. I have a snail tank, and they eat, they're my trash compactor, so they eat I feed them the junk foods that I don't end up using, or I try to, but they enjoy it either way. But with that said, I don't have a whole lot else to say. What I'm going to do is just let the video keep running while I do some things around the house. You guys are probably here just to see them eat and see, you know, how well they like or dislike the stuff. So you probably, you know, don't want to hear my voice anyway. So I'm just going to leave it run while I do some things, and I'll be back later. If for whatever reason the video cuts off and there's just no more of me talking or anything after this. Hope you guys stay safe, and wish you all the best. Again, if you can, you know, please like the video, comment if you don't mind, just say thanks if you found it helpful, or subscribe even. I would love that. Help me get some more stuff in the hobby. So appreciate it, and later. those of you still there, I will say I generally don't. I've been kind of walking over and just looking and seeing what's happening every minute or two, or trying to. I will say a lot of what happens too is they can only obviously eat so much or fit so much, but a lot of times what they'll do too, they'll grab a piece and walk a little ways or swim a little ways. So they're off to the side a little bit gnawing, and it's constantly just spreading it around a little bit. I'm not talking about the pile. Like some of them may be off, you know, a few inches further from there, just gnawing on a piece, and they may forget it or drop it or whatever, and then swim back to the pile or swim elsewhere. So you end up with a lot of little scattered pieces. That's just food that others may find, and it gives incentive for a lot of them to just, you know, run around and look for food. But for the most part, this is it. It basically just creates a pile, and it just gets, you know, quite a bit spread out, and eventually they just, I mean, they tear through all of it. It seems like a lot of them are kind of coming in and cycling out, and I can't really tell if it's the same ones just sticking around. I'm sure if for anyone that's still watching, you could probably tell if it seems like the same ones are there or not. But I guess it wouldn't hurt to just keep letting this run for a while. So I'll try to let it run as long as I can for now, I guess, and we'll see. Check back again in a bit. If you like it or dislike it, leave me a like, please. I'll be back. doing a little check-in here. It does seem like I can't really tell if there's any more. It's close enough that it almost looks the same, but they definitely seem more spread out, I guess. But it looks like they're all just gathered around the dinner table, which is kind of funny. They're not really fighting each other like it seems like, from here. So I don't know, I haven't been staring at it. Maybe you guys know better than I do, but it definitely looks like on the screen that there's more of them. I don't know. We'll see. I'll check back in a bit. For any of you guys wondering, guys or women, the plant in here, it's what's known as giant moss. And when I got it as a tissue culture. There's no snails or anything in this tank. It's strictly just Neocaridina red shrimp. When I got it as a tissue culture, and it was just in a little cup, like almost like a little ice cream cup. And it was like basically around, like the size of a round of my palm. just like that much around, and then maybe like a couple inches tall. And what I had done, I broke it up and I put it in different tanks, and I've just been growing it out. And what you see in this video is actually, that is probably at least a foot long lengthwise. You can't see it. The tanks are set up to go long ways to the back, so what you're seeing is the short side, and it actually, the moss stretches kind of in the middle but straight back almost all the way to the other side. There's a filter on the other side of it, but it's probably just over a foot long, and it's multiple pieces of it, and it's just kind of grown upwards, but it's at least 6, 7, maybe even 8 inches tall at this point. Definitely at least as long, like tall wise, as my hand from top to bottom. It's gotten pretty big, and it's almost stretching from side to side of the tank. What I've noticed is it kind of grew with the shrimp, so the more, I don't put any nutrients in there or anything like that. It's, mosses are weird. They kind of just, they take nutrients out of the water, so to speak. So from what I gather, I mean, it's essentially, you know, the shrimp poop and stuff like that. It's, you know, in the water there, and it's, the more shrimp there are, the better it seems to grow, like just speed wise, but also the shrimp keep it clean and keep it looking good. So I don't know, I have this colony, this is the greenest giant moss that I have. Like this moss actually looks really nice, and I have the exact same moss in some of my other aquariums that are strictly Neocaridina, just a different color. And in some of my other tanks, it's a real light green color. So I don't know why that would be. I don't quite understand it. But this one is just very lush looking. But I like it. I can't really say. Neocaridina and mosses seem to go together. And I've got quite a few different mosses, and I try to keep them separated in tanks because I want to have like, just see what that moss looks like. So I keep it like just that moss in that tank. So and that's what this is in this tank, just giant moss. There may be a straggler here or there, but generally it's easy to catch because once it grows out, it looks a lot different. But this is a giant moss. It's typically like kind of stringy, but not. I mean, the more it grows out, it really just looks like a bush, but it's definitely one of the faster mosses that I have. But I mean, a lot of them, they kind of grow just as fast. Like I've even got, I do have a spiky moss and a Java moss. Those ones, they didn't take off very fast, but they've gotten quite big. They're not quite as big as this giant moss, but they're getting there. They're probably about half to 3/4 of the size, more than 3/4. So they're almost there, just not quite that big. But I also have 2 rows side by side of it, so I guess it's probably, yeah, I guess I have to take that back. It's probably more of like a 1/4 of the size to a half the size. So I think Java moss and spiky moss definitely grow a lot slower. But I do have some Taiwan moss. Taiwan moss, it can definitely take off on you. I have split it and separated it into different tanks, all while just this one giant moss has been growing in this tank. So I will say Taiwan moss does grow pretty quickly. I guess I should put that in there, but you guys aren't really here for all that. But I guess maybe I should go ahead and just end the video. You guys got a pretty good understanding of what it looks like, how it seems to work with them. They enjoy it. Again, I have no qualms with it, no issues. I give it a thumbs up, a buy if you can. They seem to love it, but they like a lot of stuff. They will kind of adapt to whatever you feed them, even if it's just algae off the side of the tank in the right situations. I mean, that's what they'll eat. So it's really just whatever you want. But yeah. And again, if you guys don't mind, I'd appreciate it if you like the video or dislike it, whatever you want to do there. Go you want to leave a comment, thanks, or no thanks, whatever. If you don't, or if you want to subscribe, I'd appreciate that too. But everything helps and helps me, expand the hobby. So I appreciate that. And I wish you guys all the best, and take it easy out there. Thank you. Bye.